Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
So, welcome to another edition of Classic Comic Talks. And this time, the first topic we're going to talk about is the anime studio for Bleach and Naruto. President rejects the idea that anime should conform to Western standards. Okay, that's seems to be an interesting topic. Mhm. And here we go with let's share the screen. Okay. So this is by Spencer Bakuli, dated April 22, 2024. The studio president for Naruto and Bleach rejects the idea that anime should be more Western. No to conforming to Western standards. If you make animation that in mind, it will become increasingly boring. Okay, yeah. In adding his voice to the increasing number of Japanese creatives who have found themselves unhappy with the ever-growing demands that their works be altered in order to accommodate Western socio-political standards, anime production studio Pierrot Company Limited president and CEO Michiyuki Honda has warned that should this respective medium change its core identity in order to attract overseas audiences, the results will be becoming increasingly boring. Yeah, could be. It could be right. Homna, who during his far tenure at the studio has overseen the production of such anime series as Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War, Naruto Shippuden, Boruto Next Generations, and Kingdom, offering his thoughts on this hot topic while speaking with Japanese entertainment news outlet Comic Natalie for their Anime Studio Stop-centric interview series, Anime Studio Chronicles. Eventually turning to reflect on how popular the aforementioned Naruto trilogy has been with overseas viewers. At current, roughly 30% of Studio Pierrot's video sales come from overseas audience, with the trio of series and their related films being by far their best sellers. The studio boss asserted, I am endlessly grateful to have had the opportunity to meet and produce a great work that will become a long-term series that will last for years. However, it is difficult to make work that will be popular overseas or that will become a long-term series. To this end, Hamnat explained, of course, you can aim for the top half, but if you make animation with that in mind, it will become increasingly boring. We don't make characters smoke in order to take some series overseas, he continued. We have to make the violence a little less violent, avoid sexy expressions. If Japanese animation is bound by such restrictions on expression, then there's no way that people overseas will want to watch it. I agree. Drawing his thoughts to a close, Homna ultimately affirmed works that are a hit in Japan are also a hit overseas. I believe that we must not make the same mistake of approaching anime production in the wrong way. As noted above, Homna is thankful for the first Japanese creator to speak out against the ongoing attempt by Western audiences to force the Eastern countries' various entertainment mediums to appeal to their own tastes and sensibilities. As during an April interview with video game outlets, Automation, if he was taking care of to let your series identity become westernized, current mana producer Masuro Oyadamada declared, I think the visuals of the mana games are a distinctive characteristic. Therefore, it is best to deliver the game based on the developer's creative vision. For example, there are many different types of characteristics in the mana series, he said. I think the fun of the games is encountering this mysterious world and its inhabitants. And because of that, we don't have a strong focus on a particular audience. However, we do work on the game while bearing in mind that the Mana series is loved by fans all over the world. While on the discourse surrounding the heavily altered localization seen in the English release of Vanillaware's Unicron Overlord, Final Fantasy Tactic Director Matsuno opined, I believe that it is unacceptable for someone who to alter a work without considering the original author's intent. However, when the or language is different, a direct translation may not really convey the intended meaning accurately. This is especially true for humor. Therefore, I think some degree of alteration is unavoidable. The issue lies in whether the original author has consented to these alterations. Has anyone confirmed whether the author of Unicron Overlord has approved its English translation? Hmm. He then positioned, in any case, I think both arguments have merit, translating faithfully to the original and allowing some degree of adaptation. I encourage discussion on this matter as I do not intend to take sides. However, if the original author approves, I believe that should be respected. That's all. All right. So we'll see how this thing develops in the anime industry. So next topic is mobile fighter G Gundam to celebrate 30th anniversary. Let's share the screen. This is from Bounding into Comics, dated April 26, 2024, by Spencer Bakuli, Mobile Fighter G Gundam to celebrate 30th anniversary with new story penned by original series director. Gundam Fight Ready, Go! In honor of its 30th anniversary, Bandai Namco has announced that Mobile Fighter G Gundam will soon be receiving a new side story scenario penned by the series' original director, Yoshiro Imagawa. News of the fan favorite shonen style Mobile Suit Gundam spin-off continuation was first revealed on April 22nd, courtesy of the franchise official website. Alongside a new commemorative key visual illustration by Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury animator Shinpei Sawa, the image depicting the members of the new Shuttle Alliance as well as the Master Asia, Rain, Allenby, and Swartz running into the sunset ahead of the Gold Gundam. Bandai Namco unveiled their plans to release a completely new guidance scenario written by the general director of Mobile Fighter G Gundam, Yoshiro Imagawa, later this summer. As detailed by Bandai Namco, this Gaiden outing will tell a side story of the main TV series and subsequent stories in the form of a scenario novel. Look at that. Damon Cashew. To this end, while the studio declined to provide any concrete evidence of what fans would expect from the novel, they did confirm that the characters will with a distinctive hairstyle that was revealed during the Gundam series 45th anniversary special broadcast on April 7 will also appear and play an important role in the story. Sporting both twin ponytails and triangular hair cones outside of their design, little else is known about their character, especially just as what their relation is to the larger Mobile Fighter G Gundam cast. Offering his thoughts on his upcoming return to the series, Imagawa told Bandai Namco, the school of the undefeated of the East is far from over. Things I left unfinished, things I pretended I didn't know, those things have been in my head for 30 years, he explained. Even if I want to go wild, I don't have a ring. I gained a whole lot of weight while sleeping, and in my hands, it burns bright red and finally punches through the wall to the outside world. Who and what kind of fight will start? Just a little while until the gong stands. As noted above, Imagawa's new Mobile Fighter G, a Gundam scenario is set to smash its way to top of the competition starting sometime later this summer. Okay. That's cool. I think I better finish watching Mobile Fighter Gundam G. And I will share a tweet for you from Sil Abdul of proof that Rebel Moon franchise is a success. Hey, let's share this. Wait, share sound. And let's listen to the wise man, Sil Abdul.
Massive Zack Snyder's Justice League was. And a lot of us wasn't really familiar with their metrics. So I didn't know how to quantify how great the Snyder Cut was as far as on streaming worldwide. I understand their metrics now, and we'll kind of explain it. But if we knew it was a global phenomenon, but I may have old video. I may have to go find an old video of the Snyder Cut numbers because I had this website up, and the bars were crazy for the Snyder Cut. But we'll talk about that another time. Here, how does Flix Patrol gauge their numbers? As we see Road Moon Part 2, 763. We see Woody Woodpecker, 496, so we see and so forth, right? Well, this number, the 763, is not like straight viewer, like straight minutes or hours, right? Like you can see Part 1 right there with the 199. What does all this mean? The way they gauge it, I'm talking about Flix Patrol, because I want to continue to preface this. Netflix is giving you the straight viewership. This is just third parties when we talk about Flix Patrol. Go by Netflix first, right? But what Flix Patrol does, they rank their projects, their films that they track off of popularity. This is how they rank them. So let's just say, just for example, if I don't quote their metrics right, let's just say, for example, if you're number one, and this is around the world, if you're number one in UK, you get 10 points. If you're number one in US, you get 10 points. If you're number two in any given country, you get 9 points, and so forth, right? If we see if you're, if you're eighth place, you get 8. So you see what I'm saying? So they calculate and tabulate all this together, and again show by worldwide metrics the popularity of Rebel Moon Part 2 just on Netflix alone. Because today we got the popularity of all streaming, but we'll talk about that. Netflix original films alone, obviously Rebel Moon's the most successful. It's about doubling anything, right? So just off there, if we just go off just the metrics alone here, we don't know the full viewership from Flix Patrol because we're going by Netflix. Flix Patrol is telling you this has been successful since the day it came out. Rebel Moon Part 2, it's been about doubling or more anything that's been out on Netflix worldwide. I know a lot of trolls out there tried to bring up, hey, it fell out of number one slot in the United States. Well, it's just, it's small-minded people. Netflix is not just in the United States. It's worldwide. It's the streaming king in the world.
Worldwide.
And
streaming king.
Even if it drops from number one in the US, it's still number one in several other countries. It's still in top 3 in several other countries. And you tabulate all that together, it's the number one film in the world. So pretty cool to see that metrics with that. And hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to be referring to this a lot now that we kind of understand how they do their numbers, right? Because again, we'll have an update tomorrow. I think it's going to, if I'm going to guess the number, the Netflix number for Road Moon Part 2, I say it'll probably get over 30 million. I think it'll get over 30 million for week 2. That's like the pattern of Part 1. If it exceeds Part 1, because I think we're on a good pace overall for Part 2. If it exceeds Part 1 in views for Part 2 for week 2, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. We're gonna keep an eye on that. But let's see. Today we got more independent metrics. Again, we already knew this was successful. It's good to have more evidence, third party, so people don't think everything is biased. Variety. We got the Shields jumping in there saying, hey, we can't deny it. Road Moon Part 2 destroyed all the competition in all original film streams. We'll make sure we're clear when we're seeing this. And the article's out there. Everyone can fact check if they want. Road Moon Part 2 destroyed everything. Original films, or either it was on Netflix. If you was on Amazon, I think Roadhouse was a film. I still haven't watched that film yet on Amazon. But that tracked high. As we see, it tracked lower than Rebel Moon. This first, you don't even see it in the top 3. It's like probably 5 or 6 in there. albeit Roadhouse has been out. But my point is that they measure this against all streaming services. Netflix overall is going to win because they're in more households. That's why you see Netflix is all the top 3. The way Variety does their numbers is they go by the minutes watched. It's sort of like the Nielsen ratings. We kind of went through this through the Snyder Cut, where they tried to track the minutes. And then they try to basically, by their formula, they say, because Netflix judges it by if you click on the film and you watch it for a certain amount of time, you may step away and come back, but you watch it for a certain amount of time, and that's a view. Third parties, they try to track by the minutes, and then they divide the total minutes by how long the film was, right? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, by Variety, they say that equates to 6 million total views, which obviously is far behind what Netflix themselves is saying. That's why I say I always go by Netflix, but we'll definitely take third party just to support the dominance.
That's Seal Abdul with the numbers for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver, and it's really a global phenomenon.
killing people. They look alive to me.
Because I saved them.
Well, that's why I waited until you were there. I got the information I needed. No one died. I did it your way.
He does have a point. I know it got lost in all the confusion, but we still have some issues to settle here. There are only heroes and there are villains.
You think yourself a hero, but you would let these criminals go free.
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.